I had a dream. It was Minecraft 1.13 and I was able to build a super smelter the size I wanted, up to 22 furnaces, your experience may vary. And I was also able to automatically turn on and off the automatic item distribution. That's not what I wanted to say, actually, but let's just keep with it. Let's keep rolling. I could turn manually on or off the automatic fuel distribution. Also, I had an output chest right here, which I could turn on and off the automatic product recollection system, so that I could go to the furnaces that were storing all of the XP for me and take that one last item smelted in there and get all of the XP. So this is a super smelter. I mean, in the dream, it was a super smelter. That was also an XP grinder system. And I'm making so many mistakes right now with my text because I haven't rehearsed. And then after 16 hours of work and based on CapFun's super smelter design, this is what I have. A super smelter in 1.13, pretty compact as you can see. And the feature of this tutorial, how to build a relatively cheap, easy to make super smelter in 1.13 that is also going to act as a XP grinder or XP recollection system. So back to the dream, I was able to put all of my fuel here. Look how it's so quickly being depleted. And a stack of iron maybe goes here. We wait a little bit and then I turn the cards. And as you will see in just a moment, all of the furnaces starts magically working. If I turn this on, the items, so you see I have some items here, the items are going to start flowing into the chest. I'm gonna do that just for a minute so that you will see iron ingots pouring down. There you go, pretty quick. I'm going to turn this off. We're going to see that the load of the card is going to finish right here, but the furnaces are going to continue smelting iron, but the iron is not going to be recollected anymore. So that's the main reason why. So you see 25 iron ingots right here. Some of the furnaces have smelted more than one in this short period of time, so that's why we have more than, this is a 20 furnace super smelter system. But the most important thing right here is that if I go to game mode survival and you see that I have 16 levels, I can get one iron ingot and get all of the levels that have been stored. Not much for now, but imagine that you smelled, I don't know, 64 stacks of sand for glass. You will be able to get all of the XP, all of it. You're not going to be losing anything because in Minecraft 1.13, furnaces store XP. Even if the items are automatically pulled off of the furnace, you can then disable that mechanism and manually take the last item that was melted and take all of the XP for it. And look how I am quickly approaching the level 17th, even though I'm not nearly taking enough items from the smelters as I should. And there you go, level 17. So hi there and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. My name is Shadow C and today I'm gonna be teaching you how to build this beauty. And as I said back in my mumbling, this is a design that was based on CapFun Super Smelter Design version 2, which is a pretty awesome design. But it has several advantages over CapFun design. For example, I can turn on and off the item recollection system right here in both the fuel and the items. There's a pulse extender here so that when the minecart approaches this part of the rail, it will stop for just a moment so that it can take up to 22 items and 24 fuel items. That's more on that later. So this super smelter can be up to 22 furnaces long, but it's not limited to that. I'm going to show you later how you can modify this circuit right here to create even longer pulse extenders so that you can recollect more items at a time, so that they can go, they can easily be distributed into a larger super smelter if you need. And lastly, the most important thing that the other design didn't have is this system right here. This is a hopper minecart that we are using to recollect the product of the furnaces, and we have an AND gate right here because we can turn this on and off. So as you can see, the hopper minecart is going right now, but if I turn this off, once it comes back, it's going to stay here, which means that the products from the furnaces are not going to be automatically removed, which means that you're going to be able to get your XP from them. So without further ado, I'm going to try and show you how to build one of these. First off, we're going to place the array of furnaces here. So for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to do an array of 11. So we place 11 furnaces right here, right there, and we're going to put rails on the bottom. And so for that, we're going to choose a place in the middle of the array and place a redstone block right here and hope that we're going to power all of these guys right here, as you see. I'm gonna place the hopper up for the items. Oops, I fell. There you go. And then fuel goes to the back. And we're gonna top this off with rails for all of the hoppers, because the minecarts are gonna travel through here and it will be delivering the items through the hoppers into the furnaces. Then what you wanna do is to find that place in the middle and put a block sort of floating. I think right here is okay. And then you put a redstone torch right there. So there you go. So powering all of the rails in the thing. And to top it off, you're going to put some blocks right here and here so that the cars will stop at the end of the line and go right back. Alright, so next we're going to work on the part of the track that are loading and unloading the items and the fuel. So you go one here, so 2 blocks here, 2 more blocks. Quickly, let me grab this redstone block right here for a boost of the rail. We're gonna turn around here, 3 and 1 here where the card is going to end, right there. So for the one below, we need 1 block here, another block, then redstone, because this is going to go down and then upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a redstone block again, then 2 blocks, and if I'm not wrong, 2 more blocks, and it's going to end right here. So you should have a structure looking like that, with the 2 rails going, one is going below the other, and both end up next to each other in a hopper minecart, and the chests go right above. Sorry, I made a mistake here. This is not the way this rail should go up. It should go up actually from here. It's 1 more block and 1 block to the back. So that's, oops, let me place that block. So that's the way the rails should go. And now we're gonna place the actual rail system. So we go turn around like this. We're gonna place some power rails for a boost. We turn around, then a detector rail, we're gonna use that, I'm gonna explain that later, and the final rail which needs to be powered. But before we do all of that, we need to add the redstone torch that is going to power this final rail, because when you do, things are gonna change in the rail system. So for example, let me just quickly explain. If I place my rail here and I put a torch, that rail is gonna switch side. So for the purpose of building the thing, you need to place your torch first and then the rail so that it doesn't go bonkers, so to speak. So that's how you're going to get your first rail system right there. So for the other system right here, you're gonna put rails, normal rails right like this, then a power rail so that the car can go up and down, a curve like this, then another power rail, and then a curve this way, and sorry, this will need to be a detector rail, and then another rail, and the power rail, which I'm going to place the torch first, and then the power. But I figure this shouldn't be as much of an issue. So these two detector rails are going to provide me with a pulse that I'm going to extend so that this torch turns off, and the car is going to wait here for a little bit, discharging items so that it can then distribute it through the furnace system. And down here at some point I'm going to place a block and a couple of power rails. We can measure this later, but it should go somewhere around here, this place. And so now you have both, three of the rail systems right there, and we can place two of them, and they're going to, sorry, I was in the way. They can start working. So you can see how they work. They go back and forth, but we need them to wait there. Before we do the next step, we can just place the chests so that we have an almost working system right here. And don't forget to put signs so you don't forget where each of the item types go. So this one is going to provide items, and this one is going to provide fuel. So I removed the last one of the rails right here because I went over there and measured the length of it, and it goes just like that. So it's the curve here, then two normal rails, two power rails, two rails, and then the recollection chest is gonna go right here. You need to place it first so that I can place a hopper here, and then one power rail and one power rail on top of the hopper. I'm shift clicking right there. And here you need to place the stoppage system right here, and the recollection system, which is pretty compact. I'm not sure if it's the only way of doing it, but it goes somewhat like this. So we have a block right here, comparator, that is going to be powering this block, a torch, and then a repeater. So when this comparator turns on, because something is flowing through the hopper right here, the comparator is going to turn on the block, which in turn is going to turn off that torch. It's going to remove the power from this repeater, and then this thing is going to get unpowered, which is going to give time for the hopper minecart to stop right there. But for now, since this is automatic, it's going to go back and forth. So we're going to test this, placing some items real quick right there. And when it comes back, it should stop for a second. Yeah, and then go back up. So that thing is working properly. You can see that items are automatically flowing into the chest. So the next step in this tutorial is to create the pulse extenders that are going to allow the carts to stop for a second right there. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to add 3 blocks right here for this one. This one is 1 block lower, so it's a little bit different the way this goes. But it's somewhat like this. Yeah, it goes like that. So for the first one, let me grab the redstone dust. Oh my god, where's my redstone dust? There you go. I'm gonna keep this. So redstone dust going here, here, and here, and then we're gonna put our comparator for a very short pulse extender, and you're going to watch it right there. So this pulse extender is gonna get 22 blocks from the chest, and then it's gonna go away. This one, however, is 1 block lower, which means that it's going to be a slightly longer pulse extender, unfortunately. You can do other types of pulse extender and then reroute the rails more into the back of the thing. I didn't want to do that because I kind of like the fact that this thing is so compact and so, it has so much functionality, either way. So I don't care that it gets 24 fuel and 22 items. You can see that the pulse extender right here is also working. It just, it's going to add a small inefficiency in the way that the fuel is distributed throughout the furnaces. I don't think you have to worry about that. I think this works just fine. But if you want to build bigger smelters, maybe you want to build one with 80 furnaces or more, you can just build a regular pulse extender. I'm gonna quickly teach you how this works. So if you add like two comparators this way, and if I get myself a button, I think I can just make it work like this. Yeah, that is going to work. That is a slightly bigger pulse, as you can see, but it occupies 6 blocks, 6 by 2, which is much more than what we have there. And this bigger one, I think it collects somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 items, but you can extend this indefinitely. You can add as many comparators as you like, right? And when I hit this button right here, that's gonna go much longer. So see that? So you can have, I don't know, a 200 furnace system. So that's the beauty of that. You can modify the pulse extenders right there, modify the track, the way they go, like make it go more to the back. You can have bigger furnaces as much as you want. So the next thing I want to add to the furnace, I want the ability to turn all of these cards on and off, and I'm going to use torches and AND gates to be able to achieve this. One of the reasons is lag. So when I'm not using the furnace, I don't need these cards to be eternally going on and off, back and forth, back and forth. I want to be able to park them right here. Also, I want them to be able to be parked right here so that I can offload a big amount of items and they be, evenly distributed throughout the furnace. Although that's not necessarily needed, but it's really good that you can load the chest full of things that you want to smelt before you even, set the cards going. And for the last one right here, you want to be able to turn this card off so that the smelters, so the furnaces, have the items that you can manually take out for the XP grinding. So in order to do that, we're going to put a torch right below here, which is not going to interfere with that one, interestingly enough. That's something that I've discovered. And we're going to put a lever on the opposite side. So I think it goes right here. When I pull this lever, that torch is going to turn off. That is great. So that means that if I add redstone here, like that, I put a block and redstone dust, that torch is going to keep this thing parked all the time, because what it does is power this redstone, which goes into this pulse extender. It's feeding a constant pulse to the pulse extender, so the pulse extender is going to go infinite. So what happens when I turn this on, that torch is going to go off, and so the system's going to start working because the pulse extender starts acting normally. It's going to be feeding off of this what's it called, the detector rail right there. So we're gonna do the same thing for this one right here, and we might as well get the blocks, fill in the blanks a little bit so that it's looking better. So a block right here, and let me place one block right here without messing with the cards. You can see that the cards are going. Torch right here, and then redstone dust to infinitely power that thing right there, and then the lever. So when I turn this off, that thing is working normally. When I turn this on, that thing is working normally. When I turn this off, that thing is gonna get parked right there infinitely. And of course you can complete the thing. So this is how low you want to go with the walls in this side, and then you can probably put some signs. So for example, turn this off. You should do a better job than me. And last off, we're going to build the AND gate so that I can turn this system off. So the wall goes all the way here like that. So we can, do it like that. You need stairs on top of the chest so that you can keep opening them, but let's just continue with the figures like that, and then I'm gonna put a lever right here, and then you can say turn this off, and then from the lever I'm going to put 2 blocks redstone dust, and then we are going to put a torch in here, and then one final bit of redstone dust to constantly power this thing. That thing is spark now, because what it does, this torch is turned on, which means this block is powered, the same as what's happening with this comparator, which means that the torch is off. So if I want to turn that automatic recollection system on, I just pull the lever. That torch is off because this block is powered. This is not powered anymore, so this can give power to the power rail again. But since this is an AND gate, you know, whichever circuit powers this block is going to temporarily stop the card. So that's how it works. And with that, we have the furnace all completed. I added some flooring right here to accentuate the fact that the floor should be one at this level, because you see the wall at this side can only go up to here. If you lower that down, it's going to interfere with the card at this point. So the floor should be here. You could hide that with stairs, as I did in the other demonstration right there. But we're going to go ahead and quickly test this to make sure that it's working. Let me give myself some kelp. I'm going to get a stack of this, a stack of iron right here. We are going to put the kelp here. It's loading the iron here and power this on. And that should be smelting right away. And so if you want to collect the items, let us send this little guy rolling. There you go. And we should be seeing items being put in this output chest right away. So as you can see, let it go another round. Yeah, there you go. So you have 11 furnaces working simultaneously. This can go up to 22. I think that would be the best approach. This will, you know, distribute the fuel and the items more or less evenly throughout the furnaces. You could have some differences, like for example, that last furnace didn't get it already smelt everything, for example. But all of the furnaces have pretty much the same amount of fuel and the same amount of items. But let's stop this guy right now. It's gonna just stay there. We got almost a stack of iron already smelted. We can, since this is done, we can just turn all of those off so that we're going to minimize lag. And now if we go to game mode survival and we take out the items right here, you can see that all of the XP has been stored in the furnace, and we can get, if we go through all of them, we can repair our items, we can repair our armor, we can get some levels, you know, all of the equivalent of one stack of iron. We didn't lose anything, unlike with 1.12. So that's an amazing thing. This is a super smelter. Well, except this one, it needs an item. I can just quickly toss an item right here and take it away. Anyways, guys, this is the super smelter adapted for 1.13. It was inspired in a design by CapFan. I'm going to link in the description the original video. I think that is all the way back from 1.11, if I'm not mistaken. But it still, you know, it still works. It's a little bit simpler. I think this design is better because you can better control it. You can control the XP grinding aspect of furnaces. You can make it as big as you want. You can decorate it. I mean, you name it. This is also cheap. It's not so complicated as some of the other systems out there. For example, I think it's Il Mango or Tangote has one 42, you know, furnace, super furnace smelter, which is so complex to make. I mean, it's okay. It's probably much better than this one because that works like a clockwork. It's amazing. But this is something you can do, you know, pretty early in the game. You just need a couple of stacks of iron and then I guess half a stack of gold, and you're all set. And of course the minimal redstone requirements. Anyways, hope you like this tutorial. It's been a little bit longer than usual, but this is a complicated build. If you like this, leave a like or subscribe to my channel for some more Minecraft, and stay tuned for my Let's Play series, which is coming out soon. Good. Thank you and goodbye.